Loser! Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to The Losers. This is the next movie in our monthly movie week for this month, for August. And this is a part of our theme of comic book movies, but not necessarily superhero movies. So, I I'm going to be honest here right out front. This is not a reward. Unlike all the other movies this week, this one is one that I have just chosen to add to this week, to this list. It is one that I wanted to do, and was kind of the inspiration behind this theme. Because I heard about this movie very briefly, and I don't know what the actual plot's about. I don't know most of who's in it, but I heard on TikTok. I was just randomly scrolling through TikTok, and I saw a thing that said, it was like talking about like some like unusual. Unusual is the wrong word. I'm trying to think of how it was worded. Um, I'll just say unusual. That's not the word I was trying to think of, but it's like unusual comic book movies that aren't like what you normally think about with comic book movies. And I didn't like look through the entire thing, but it like mentioned it's like, oh, here's the losers, and it's like I think it said it was starring one of the Chris's. Which one was it? It wasn't Chris Pine. I is it Chris? I think it's Chris Evans. I think it's Chris Evans. But it's like it's a comic book movie. It stars I think Chris Evans, and it's not your normal comic book movie. It's not a superhero movie. And I thought to myself, that could be an interesting theme for a movie week. I literally thought of that, like right while checking that out. And I decided to scroll past it instead of watch anymore because it's like, well, if I'm going to do that, I probably don't want to know anything, right? So I decided it's like, okay, I don't know anything about the plot. I only know of like one actor who I guess is in it. And again, at this point, I'm not even 100% sure if I'm right about who it is. But let's build a theme around that. And let me see if I have enough movies otherwise via donation rewards to build a theme around it. I looked at my list of donation rewards and it's like, oh yeah, I have enough movies to do this. And so that's when I decided to do this as the next theme, before I announced it to you guys. And so, yeah, I found other comic book based movies that weren't typical superhero films and all that were on the list, and I just added this one to it. Because it's like you see all of these superhero films out there all the time. It's like the world and Hollywood has become like excessively oversaturated with them, and that's fine, especially when they're really good, like recent ones like Superman and Fantastic Four: First Steps. But at the same time, you kind of want to see like comic movies that are different than that are based off of like different things and have different themes and ideas. And so, yeah, if this is apparently a non-superhero comic book movie, and I'm very curious as to what that's going to mean for it. And so yeah, like I said, this is kind of the inspiration for this week overall. It is just something I've chosen to react to here. So, apologies if that like matters to you. If you would rather me stick to the donation rewards, which is fair. And mind you, 4 out of the 5 for this week is still donation rewards. But yeah, it's just this is one I wanted to make sure I got to here because it was like the inspiration for all of it. So I decided I should probably put this on the list. But yeah, like I said, I think it's Chris Evans. I think that's the right one, and I hope it's not Chris Pratt. I do not like Chris Pratt. Um, and I don't know who else is in this. I don't know like what it's about. The losers. I don't know. It's like that could mean a number of things. Because it's like my first thought with something like that is I don't know, something like Kick Ass. But it's not supposed to be a superhero film. So I don't know. Again, at least from what I heard on that TikTok. So I guess we're gonna have to find out. I guess we're gonna have to see what the deal is here. But yeah, so for those who are newer to the channel or who are checking it out for this reaction, don't know what's even going on in the first place. At the end of every month, I do, instead of doing movies on Saturday and Sunday, I take a week and do movies from Monday to Friday, every day. And so each month, I have a different theme of some sorts to go with that. And this month's, like I said, was comic book movies, but not necessarily superhero ones. And so we've been focusing on that this month. Next month we'll have a different theme, which I'll announce at the in the afterthoughts of the Friday reaction, which you'll see what that is if you're watching this as it comes out tomorrow. If you're watching this in the future, I, I'm not gonna say what it is right now because I'm keeping it like kind of a secret for those who are watching currently. But yeah, it's another one of the reactions from this time. One of the it'll if you look in the movie playlist, it should be the next one on the playlist. So, but either way, yeah, the theme will be announced at the end of that video, and we'll just kind of go from there. But as a reminder, there will be no monthly movie week at the end of October or December. Because in October and December, we have a Halloween special and a holiday special, respectively. And because of that, those are going to kind of like take over from that idea. I'm also going to be busy with some other things during this time of year. So it's just better to not push myself too hard. Also, with December, I take the last week of the month off after Christmas. So that wouldn't work anyways. Either way, let's get on with this movie and see what this is even about. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I was looking up Jason Patric, who played Max, to see if he was in anything else I know. He's been in a couple things I've heard of, but he was Sienna's father in Terrifier 3. I mean, mind you, that was only in flashbacks and stuff because, you know, he's dead in the current day, but... Oh! I did not see that coming. I really didn't expect that. I don't think I would have recognized him from that either way. So it's like it still tracks that I didn't recognize him. But yeah. So this is based off of a comic series, and I assume like this is kind of at least mostly accurate to how it goes in the comics, which means Max gets away at this point. I don't know if there was plans for another for a sequel to this. Um, but I did see that it had a, from what I could tell, a bit of a mixed reception. Um, it didn't do super well, but it didn't do like terribly either. It was just one of those movies that just it was kind of mixed, kind of mid scores from different critics and stuff. From Rotten Tomatoes, as always, take that with a grain of salt. But form your own opinions. Don't judge based on other people's judgments. But I'm just saying, this movie seemed to not like do well enough, I guess, to get a sequel. Maybe like they would have done one if it had done better. Um, my view on this film is that this is really fun, really entertaining, really like cool. And that's all it really tries and needs to be. The problem one of the problems that I have with a lot of critics is that they go into every movie expecting it to be basically a blockbuster level hit. They expect it to be like top tier best picture winner level of quality. And if it's not that, they complain and bitch about it. Because a lot of these critics just don't know how to just enjoy a film. They go into movies with a critical mind. And I understand that's their job. I get that. But I feel like that is a terrible way to watch a film. If you go into a movie with a critical mind, expecting to pick it apart and look for any little like issues you can find, you're just not going to be enjoying the movie as you watch it, whether you think it's a good movie or not. I don't believe anyone should go into a movie like prepared to pick it apart, to analyze it and look at it and figure out how they're going to critique it online or in a newspaper or whatever else. I think that when you go see a movie, you should watch it purely for the entertainment factor and form your opinions only after you have seen it. Because otherwise you're preemptively determining the fate of the film. Because yes, unfortunately, critics do determine the fate of a movie. And the fate of it getting sequels, the fate of the movie doing well in theaters. It's all, built upon the critics. Because a critic's word can tank a movie. It can make people not want to see it. It can make them literally refuse to go see it. Just because of what a critic says. Because they don't want to form their own opinions. They're afraid to, try to figure things out on their own for some reason. And if a critic says a movie's good, people are just going to automatically assume it's good and not have any critical thinking with it. They're not going to form their own thoughts and opinions and just go along with the flow, basically. Go along with the status quo. And I don't like that either. I don't like either side to that. I don't believe that a person should form their opinion prior to seeing a movie. And I don't think they should form their opinion based on what the opinion of another person is. It's like, I don't believe that you're actually, feeling anything about the movie that way. You don't have any actual thoughts. You're just piggybacking off someone else's. And I'm not saying this because, I really like this movie and a lot of people didn't or gave it mixed reviews or anything. I'm not saying that because of this. I mean, and again, you're allowed to have your own opinions and everything, but I'm talking about all of this. I'm bitching about all of this because you see this way too often. where people just refuse to, like, you know, watch a movie. They have to judge it and prejudge it and, like, overanalyze it and everything. And this is the kind of movie that is actively not the kind of movie you should be doing that with. Again, like, if you don't like this movie, you're allowed to not like this movie, but just keep in mind that this movie is meant to be dumb fun. It's meant to be like a turn your brain off, just enjoy the action, enjoy the awesome cast, enjoy the goofy comedy, enjoy the scene at the building with the sidekick power sniper shooting, because God, that scene was so cool. Just enjoy it for what it is. You don't have to, like, overanalyze it. But I feel like a lot of critics had done so. And there's a lot of critics who I'm sure, like, gave it a fair shake. I'm sure there is. But you know, a lot of critics absolutely judged this movie purely because it wasn't high art, basically. And it's like, this is not the kind of movie that you're supposed to view that way. But again, if you don't like it, that's fine. You're allowed to not like it. Anyway, I really loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the cast was fantastic. Even the ones I didn't recognize, like, really did a great job. Like, the guy who played the one businessman from Mumbai, I thought he was great, especially when he got some balls. Like, my God, he gave a pretty good performance there. I like how absurd this movie can get as well. Like, how comic book absurd it can get. You have these bombs that literally can wipe an island out of existence. It just, like, it just wipes it from existence. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I know Max described it, but it's like, it just kind of, like, implodes in on itself and just stops being a thing. And he planned to do that to, like, the coast of LA and everything, and it's just like, Jesus, that's very comic book evil. You also have, like, the twists and turns in this, like Aisha being Al Fahid's daughter, Roke ending up being a traitor and stuff. And it's like, they're not entirely the most surprising twists out there or anything. They're not, like, wholly original either. It's like, we've seen these kind of twists done before, which is why I was questioning, is Roke really betraying them, or is this just some kind of ruse that they're working on to try and, like, get closer to the enemy or something? Because I've seen this done that way before. And so I wasn't 100% sure which route they were going with it. Pretty much until he died. It does kind of suck that with the entire movie kind of being the mission to take out Max, it doesn't happen in the end. But like I said, this is based off of a comic book series, so it's probably going, like, in line with how that would go. And he probably didn't die at this point in the comics, so it just it makes sense. It's just, it does leave a little bit of dissatisfaction in the end, considering that's what the entire film was about. It also is, like, not afraid to take risks, and I like movies that are afraid to take risks. Like, killing off 25 children at the beginning of the film is really fucking insane. I mean, mind you, you don't see, like, the children's corpses or anything, but it killed 25 children in a really horrific way. That's still really fucked. And I kind of appreciate when a movie is willing to go to that level. Speaking of Terrifier 3, that killed off kids too. But yeah, it's like, it sounds fucked up, but I like it when movies aren't afraid to, like, acknowledge that kids can be, you know, killed and stuff. For example, like when a zombie movie shows a child zombie, it's like that's rare. But it shouldn't be, because there would absolutely be child zombies all over the place. But so many filmmakers and whatnot are so afraid to show that because it's so dark, it's so grim, it's so horrible. But I like it when zombie movies do show that. I like it when movies where, like, oh yeah, this kid would absolutely be killed. They're not going to escape the killer. When the movie actually is going to kill the kid. I don't like seeing, like, and knowing that kids died. I mean, obviously it's just a movie, but still. But it's more real and it makes the threat bigger. And, like, having Max, like, order, like, this to happen, I mean, mind you, he was trying to kill, like, the team, but still, having it be to where 25 children are violently and brutally murdered like that, it sets a precedent for you wanting to see them get their revenge. Which, again, also makes it dissatisfying that they didn't in the end, that Max did escape. But there's also, I feel like, a good reason for having it done, because it shows that despite everything, Clay was still willing to put other people first over his revenge. He still, like, was willing to, like, focus on saving more lives before focusing on getting Max. But the big difference is, like, he hasn't given up on that. He's just, you know, pushing that back a bit. Plan on doing that later. We did get some good follow up with Pooch and his wife, and with why can't I think of the name right now? I'm just thinking Chris Evans. Hold on, I should still have the Wikipedia up. Yeah, here we go. With where is he? Jensen. With Jensen and his niece's soccer game, which, by the way, that was really funny, him getting up in the ref's face like that. But also really cute. It's like he's, like, you know, his niece was shoved to the ground like that. He's trying to, like, be there for her and all. He clearly adores her. That was nice. I like that we got those follow-ups because those have been, like, set up throughout the entire film. I just really enjoyed it. I thought this was an absolutely fun movie. And, like, I just kind of wish that it didn't end off, like, so dissatisfyingly. That's my only issue with it. Otherwise, I thought this was great. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of The Losers? Let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, this was the only of these movies for this movie week that I chose. Because again, this was kind of the inspiration behind the entire thing. But tomorrow, for Friday, we go into the final August monthly movie week movie. We're going to go into that, and once again, in the afterthoughts of that video, I will announce what the September theme will be, as well as the specific dates. So, thank you once again so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.